It is time that we have a serious discussion about Lauren Boebert. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video today. It is time that we have a serious discussion about Lauren Boebert, because once again she is in the news, and not for a positive reason. Let me be 100% clear about all of this. She is one of the best congresswomen voting-wise. She has a great record on Numbers USA, ACU scorecard, hell, every scorecard imaginable. She has basically a perfect record. With that being said, at some point you have to ask yourselves, is it really worth having a great voting record like this when she does stuff like this and put a bad taste in people's mouths about MAGA, America First, whatever? Again, I'm not saying primary her. I'm not saying that at all, but it's time we have that serious discussion about what should we do with Boebert down the line? Well, what should we do about her if she continues to have controversies like this? Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you can join Real American. This is the best way to support the daily content that we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Alright, everybody. Again, Boebert has a great record. We'll get to that in a second. But I cannot defend what she was caught on camera doing with her boyfriend. I can't. And I critique the Democrat for the Virginia stuff, and I will critique the Republican here. Because unlike certain people, I can see through bullshit. And this entire situation, I can't defend. Listen, I can critique the theater for leaking the video. I can critique them for focusing on Boebert. I can say that's awful. But what she did at that theater is a complete and total disgrace. It's undefendable. And you get so many people on the right defending her for this. I give a rat's ass how she looks. I don't care. You don't do that in public. Now, if you don't know what happened, let's have a quick rundown. Colorado Representative Lauren Boebert apologized after she and a male companion were ushered out of a production of Beetlejuice in Denver last weekend for disrupting the show. Boebert had denied acting inappropriately until surveillance video surfaced showing her disrupting the performance. An incident report said she and her companion were admonished by staff for vaping, singing, and causing a disturbance. So it's not just the whole, we'll get to in a second, it's, well, she was vaping, she was singing, she was being a disruption to the show. This isn't just, oh, she did one bad thing, like she was doing something privately with her boyfriend. She was just causing a big fuss, mess, I don't know what you call it. Because people are just leaving that out. Again, it's one thing which we'll get to in a second, which I still think is disgusting, disgraceful, you shouldn't do in public, but she was doing multiple other things that was causing a mess. She was disrupting the show. There's no perfect blueprint for going through a public and difficult divorce, which over the past few months has made it for a challenging personal time for me and my family, the Republican Congress member wrote on social media Friday night. I try to handle it with strength and grace as best I can, but I simply fell short of my values on Sunday. That's unacceptable and I'm sorry. Boebert's behavior drew ire from other audience members, including her use of a vape during the show. Initially, Boebert denied vaping and claimed that she was removed from the performance for simply being too enthusiastic. Well, that was bull. You could clearly tell she had a vape in her mouth and there's smoke and stuff coming out. What is that then? What is it? The footage widely circulated on social media shows Boebert vaping, blowing smoke into the air, dancing in her seat, taking photos of the performance, and giving ushers the middle finger while being escorted out of the theater. You also have the one part that's been the biggest part of this controversy, which I don't get why people are defending. Another video appears to show Boebert and her male companion fondling each other sexually during the show. Listen, if this was privately, I can give a rat's ass. I don't care. That's not my problem here. If it was done privately, that's one thing. The fact that you did it publicly, and I'm not even defending the theater for, having the camera specifically pointed at you with night vision, but I think that's what the camera's set up at. But either way, you cannot just do that in public. I mean, I guess her boyfriend or whatever was touching her chest, I guess. I don't freaking know. She was grabbing his groin. Listen. You don't do that. You don't do that in public. I don't care if the light's out and stuff. It's people could still kind of see that. I mean, I just don't get why people are saying that's acceptable to do that publicly. Again, I don't think that's as big of a deal as vaping and lying about it than being a big, loud person hey, I'm here. And it's just I think she was drunk, but you start looking at it, it's this is a nightmare. And it does raise the questions. Is her voting record really worth it? Again, she is arguably one of the best voting records in the House. A 98 lifetime rating on the CPAC rating. Numbers USA, a 91%. Great stuff. But the problem is, she puts, in my opinion, a bad rep for MAGA, America First, whatever. I mean, she called herself the AOC of Republicans, and quite frankly, I think that's actually true. AOC puts a bad rep in some Democrats. I think Boebert does the same. Boebert has a great record, don't get me wrong, but this is a weekly occurrence now. She's in the media for stuff that's not just, the media nitpicking something. This is just her in public doing crap like this. I understand that she's going through a tough divorce. I understand that. But you shouldn't just do this publicly. You shouldn't just, go to a theater, act like a lunatic, vape, lie about it, and act like a jackass around everybody. There was a pregnant woman right behind her. She asked multiple times, can she stop vaping? And she basically told her to screw off. Again, I do not support a primary challenger, especially this year, because all of the other candidates suck. None of them are even C-tier congressmen or congresswomen. They're really D or F. So right now, I do not support a primary challenge. But I think down the line, if she keeps acting like this, is it really worth a 90%? Is it really worth this voting record? And again, I'm not saying you guys give up for somebody with a D-tier voting record. But if you get somebody similar to, say, J.D. Vance, who has a perfect record, well, I'm sorry, but I gotta go with that. J.D. Vance, in my opinion, is the perfect Republican. Perfect on the issues. Every single issue. And even he's worked with Democrats in some issues, even though the Democrats are being dicks about it. He's still working with them on stuff like preventing another East Palestine. He's building good name recognition. People that know him, they like him. He has a great record. And he doesn't do stupid stuff publicly like Boebert has. If somebody like Vance runs in, Boebert's seat, I would support him. I would. Because, again, I don't necessarily want to give up a great voting record, but at some point you gotta look at the long picture, the big picture of this. Is it worth having a 95% for one congresswoman when she is arguably hurting other Republicans that are similar with voting record because she puts a bad rep in people's minds. Because when they think of MAGA or America First, they think of somebody like Boebert, Taylor Greene. It's just one of those things where if we get somebody that's similar voting-wise, but doesn't have the public drama, I don't get what the big deal is. Again, I like Boebert in Congress, but it's becoming harder and harder to defend this stuff. I'm glad she has a great voting record, but if she didn't have that voting record, let's be real. A lot of these people on Twitter, they would want her thrown out yesterday or last year. I guarantee it. And these people are saying, oh, well, that's just her and her boyfriend doing that. Do it privately. Just don't do it publicly and nobody would care. Anyways, folks, again, I don't want her to go. Her voting record is great, but at some point it's like, is it worth it? Is it worth possibly hurting other great Republicans because of one? Who we could potentially get somebody like a J.D. Vance, a Josh Hawley, somebody like that in her district? I think it's possible, considering the demographics of her seat. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.